Hey, Mark, how are you, man?
Doing good, John. How about yourself? Happy New
Good.
Year. Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year. Well, we're past that Christmas, but
Right.
definitely, but Happy New Year, man. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark, I know today we wanted to get together and chat a little bit about market update. As we kind of kick off in the first week of January, lots of stuff happening in a sense, around the news around us and as we get into 2023, at least on the real estate side, I'm seeing, some movement, meaning that some of the buyers that are out there are starting to inquire more. They're starting to look more out there, what's on the market, and not so much being on the sidelines. And I think you and I have talked about the fact that folks are kind of getting used to the rates at the level they are, and then when they pulled back, we saw that sharp pullback in October, November, and December. I think there's pent up demand because whether people want to admit it or not, there's a need for getting to a new house, whether it's a
Right.
moving or whether it's I have definitely people that are very frustrated around the rental pricing that keeps going up. And now, as we've said before, rent prices are almost at parity with mortgage rates, and people are just not willing to continue to throw money out the window. So they'd rather jump into a home where they can build some equity and get that appreciation. That said, what are you seeing on the mortgage side, Mark, with regard to the market at this point?
Yeah. So let me share my screen here. And we'll take a look at that right there. Um, let's see, we're back November 10th. You can probably see that my mouse is highlighted November 10th. So that the market really improved around beginning of November. And as you can see, it's just kind of gone sideways. We had this at the peak here, and then another peak over here. We had seen about 6.5%, six and
Mm-hmm.
three quarters. Now we've kind of deteriorated in this 7.5% area, which is roughly where, and there's so much that depends on what your interest rate turns out to be. It's your credit score, it's your how
Yeah.
much you're putting down. Are you getting a VA loan or an FHA or conforming or USDA? They're all different, but yeah, roughly, we're in the 7.5% range, um, which is historically, not what people are used to. But I think, um, for now, that's the new norm. Hopefully, rates will improve, but we need a catalyst to do that. Do I see one out there? Not at the moment. You've got to get bond buyers to come back to the table, which is really what created low interest rates to begin with. Is
Right.
that the Federal Reserve stepped in and started buying those things during COVID, hand over fist, and so that created really an artificial market, um, where the naturally aspirated market just wasn't interested in buying mortgages because who wanted to buy a 30-year bond, um, for a mortgage if the guy got COVID and he couldn't make his payments, and all of those fears
Yeah.
played into it. So um, it is where we're at right now. I I don't. We've joked about this before. I don't have a crystal ball. I couldn't tell you what's going to happen as far as interest rates, but I do know this, and you've already touched on it. Um, Families will grow. People will continue to move. They'll have needs. They'll want to get out of rental properties. They'll want to move up from their current property. We will adjust. It's what America has done for 200 years, and we
Yeah.
will continue to do it. So,
Yep. And we don't, to your point, we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but the consensus is that we should see some improvement with the interest rates, maybe not until the end of the year. It depends a lot on what I guess what the economy is going to look like, or is inflation going to slow down? Is the federal government going to be less hawkish around rate hikes and things like that? That could play in. There's just a host of things that'll play into it. So And
Right.
you already saw that those little dips on the in the interest rates were because of, you know, a speculation that you know, the interest rate hikes were coming to a close or going to be less and less, and you know, so there is going to be some influence on those rates as we progress through the year. But you know, to your point, we don't know what way, right? It could be the federal government. We could see inflation jump, you know, again, and the federal government say, hey, forget the 0.75 hikes, we'll go to a full point, you know, to bring it under control, and
Right.
could change everything drastically too.
Right.
So
Historically, John, here's what we do know. Hypothetically, let's say somebody buys a house today at 7.5%.
mhm,
At 7.5%, you've locked in a rate that you can live with
mhm,
because you've made that decision. The best thing that can happen is, again, hypothetically, rates go to 4.5% and you refinance and you
yeah,
just saved yourself 3 points. That's the best of all worlds. So, you know, real estate will continue to go up, will appreciate in value. There's only so
yeah,
much of it. We've seen that over the last 20, 30, 50 years, right? So that's
yeah,
not going to change.
nope.
Appreciation is going to always be with us.
Yeah. And now the problem with the real estate is not problem, but you know, is that builders out there are not just, they're not building right now. So there's, you know, again, we're getting to a point where it's pent up demand, you know, that's there. It's not going away. To your point, there's still people needing to buy homes and for whatever reason and sell homes and so forth. But the sellers are outnumbered by the buyers at this point. So, you know, as we have said all along, if the rates do drop, the flood of buyers on the market, it will be exactly what we had in the beginning of 2022 and in 2021, where we saw just, you know, insanity around the competition for homes and so forth.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
right now, you know, you hear 7%, 6%. There's, you know, people still, hey, you know, I'll wait, but there's never going to be a good time, right? Not going to be a perfect time to go out. And to Mark's point, and that's for our viewers to really think about, even if you get into a 7% rate or 6.5, whatever rate you get into, it's not forever. Right. So if the rates drop, refi. If they go up, you got into a rate that's at least lower than what the new rates are. Right. So either way,
Right.
there's an opportunity and you win, you have options. So, you know, think about that as you kind of contemplate your next move. But now, honestly, it keeps saying it, you know, good time to get in. Not a lot of competition out there. I'm helping buyers get into homes with very little competition. You know, with sellers also giving help and so forth. So keep that in mind as you kind of look at what you're planning to do over the next quarter. And you know, suggestion would be, you know, the market's the market. There's no perfect time to get in. Might as well jump in now. So
Yeah. True. That's true. And
okay,
historically, when if people look back 10, 15, 20 years, there's never a bad time to get in because
yeah,
over time that appreciation, and you can roughly figure 3%, 4%. I mean, if a guy is leveraging um, real estate properly, right, which is how you do it, right, with 3% down or 3.5 or 5, whatever you come up with VA is, you know, 100% financing. It's a no lose deal over time, right?
yep,
Market may ebb and flow here and there, but over time, over the long haul, you can't. I
you know.
shouldn't say you can't lose. I guess it's possible, but historically, it hasn't proven to be that way. It's proven
No,
to always
it's
work out.
funny. It's funny you say that because people that even if they bought at the peak of the last, real estate quote unquote crash in 2007. Let's say you bought a house in 2007 and, values crashed out. You would already have recouped all of your money, appreciation wise now, and then some. You would be still
Yep.
building appreciation, even if you bought back in 2007. In fact, there's people that are starting to sell that have had their homes since 2007, and they are making money, and they thought they never would see that money again. To your point, land will always and homes will always appreciate over time, and it's a good investment. So our renters out there, stop throwing your money away and really look at your investment, which of course is going to be your home. So.
Right.
All right. Well, Mark, thank you very much for your time today. Happy New Year. Really excited about our next updates and discussions as we kind of move through 2023. Got a lot of interesting discussions that will continue with some of our prior guests and some new guests that will be on this year. So take care, Mark. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.